Hey folks, welcome to the How to Exploit Curiosity to Develop White Hot Interest training. So I've shared some of these principles and I'm going to be sharing with you today to help people break through mental roadblocks, folks that were never able to get anyone interested before in their deal, in their product, service, or opportunity. I've taken folks that have, had challenges with prospecting large numbers of people because they didn't know what to say, what to do, how to say it. They didn't know how to follow up. They really had no clue. I've taken people from that sort of a mindset to top producers, even some hitting the highest ranks in their company with the principles that we're going to be going over today. So if you're looking to prospect larger numbers of people, actually have people interested in your deal, and to the point where some folks would just beg for you to send them the information. If you're just wanting to make life easier in your network marketing career, then grab something to take some notes with, because we're going to be going over a lot of information, but we're going to keep it very simple. And we're going to give you some tips, some principles, some ideas that you can apply today to start getting results before you go to sleep tonight. Okay, that's how quickly you can start seeing some results if you take some good notes and apply what we're going to go over today. Okay, so let me go ahead and share my screen real quick, and we're going to go over how to exploit human curiosity to create white hot interest. All right, first thing you need to know is you need to quit trying to convince people that are not convinced. That makes you seem desperate. So you need to know that if you're a professional in network marketing, you're not in the convincing business. You're not here to convince anyone that what you have is worthwhile, that that you are worthwhile, because it's not just your product, service, or opportunity, but people are buying you. People are buying into what you're saying, into you, into your vision. So you don't need to try to convince anybody that you're worth their investment of time and money. Okay, so quit trying to convince people that aren't convinced. You don't need to fit them into your schedule or your life, your deal. They need to fit themselves in. You also can't say the wrong thing to the right person, and you will find the right person. This is very, very important to know, because just as you can't say the wrong thing to the right person, you can't say the right thing to the wrong person. And you're going to deal with more wrong people, than you are right. We're in the no business. We're in the business of getting some no's. But what you need to understand is it's not no as in no, never. It's in not right now. Think of anybody that doesn't tell you yes immediately. Think of the no's. Think of all of that as a delayed yes. Because all you're doing, write this down. The purpose of each exposure isn't to close them. The purpose of each exposure isn't to close them. It's to get them to the next exposure. That's it. That's it. The purpose of each exposure is not necessarily meant to close them. Is to get them to the next exposure. So you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. And realistically, there's a lot of folks that even if they tell you no right up front, they're going to tell you yes later on. It's a delayed no. I'm going to give you some scripts, some word for word scripts, what to say and how to say it. I'm going to give you some examples here in just a minute. But I want to go over some of these principles with you. So we'll go ahead and get right back into it. So you got to understand, very important, it's a sorting process. You're looking for people that are looking for you. And there are people right now looking for what you have to offer. It's a numbers game. Everything happens exponentially. It's called the compound effect. And I'm going to show you an example of that here in just a minute. But I want you to think of prospecting like this, okay? So think of it like you've got a bag of green jelly beans, a bag of jelly beans. You're looking for the green jelly bean, right? So you've got this bag of jelly beans and you're looking for the green jelly beans. Every bag has them, right? You got to go through some blue, some brown. You got to go through some red jelly beans, right? Before you get to the green. But every bag has them, every one of them. You've got green jelly beans. You've got the ability to sponsor, some of these amazing people. You got the, it's not like you're cursed and the people that are winning in your company are gifted. Like you've got some ancient Egyptian curse on you or something. That's not the case. I'm telling you right now, you could be a top earner. You can. But you got to also understand that it is a sorting process. Even when you sponsor someone, two things about that. One, the job isn't over when they join. It just begins. Then you got to plug them in. You got to pour into them. You got to have consistent contact with them, that sort of thing. I mean, the job begins when they sign up, okay, as a sponsor. And then, you're going to sponsor several people before you find that one that's a rock star. And you got to also understand that it's not necessarily who you sponsor. Your leaders of your organization might be 2, 3, 4 levels deep in your organization. So, just keep with consistency, keep building, because you'll find those people. It's a sorting process. But everything happens exponentially. It's called the compound effect. And I want to give you an illustration of that to help you understand. If all you do is just talk to 3 people per day, which is super simple. You get 3 people per day in front of the information with an appointment to follow up. 3 a day. And that could take you 30 minutes, even if it took you an hour, okay? Not hard to get 3 people in front of the information with an appointment to follow up, okay? 3 people a day. That's times 7 days a week. That's 21 people per week, okay? Now, here's what I want you to understand. Industry average, when you're just getting started, is 1 in 10 will join you on the initial follow-up. 1 in 10, okay, that will join you on the initial follow-up. That's when you're just getting started, because you're bad. I was bad when I started. We all go through the same process. Ask your sponsor, okay? You got to go through bad to get to good, good to get to great, all right? So if you're sponsoring 1 in 10 on the initial follow-up, with this illustration, then per week, if you're doing this and you're doing it correctly, like I'm going to show you how to do, then you're sponsoring about 2 people per week, every single week. Over the course of 6 months, that ends up being about 55 people. Not bad. In your first year, it's about 1,100. It's about 110 people. So if you're going by this, now here's the thing. Along that journey into your first year, you're going to get better. So instead of 1 in 10, you might sponsor 2 out of 10, 3 out of 10 you might get to. So you got to understand that if you're consistent with this, the compound effect is amazing, because here's what's going to happen. Okay, so not only are you consistently introducing people to the business, but your team is going to do what they see you do. Not what you say do, they're going to do what they see you do. And so if you're doing this, you're teaching the right activities to build a legacy income, okay? And so you've got all these people that you've brought in. At the end of the year, by this illustration, it's about 110. Realistically, you can expect more though. But let's say it's 110. And let's say that they're doing what they've seen you do, and they only get half as good of results. 55 personals. Well, out of that 110, we're not even going to say all 110. We're going to say half of those get half of that. So 55 times 55 ends up being 3,000 people, which is not too bad considering that's just on your second level. So 3,025 people, let's say that you're getting, $2 a month from your residual. That's over $6,000 a month, not counting, any fast start commissions, any sort of, this is just an idea to give you an idea. So with this, I can pretty much guarantee you that if you're using this illustration, you're at the end of your first year, you're creating a full-time residual income. I know folks that have been plugging away at this network marketing thing for a decade and haven't ever gotten to a real full-time income. Residually, using this, you will. Okay, so let's go ahead and get back to it, because I want you to write something down. Marry the activities, divorce the results. Okay, marry the activities, divorce the results. Okay, now this is very important. Write this down. When you marry the activities and divorce the results, then what I'm essentially saying is, rather than you focusing on recruiting 2 people a week, just focus on the activities. Focus on 3 people a day, 5 people a day, 10, whatever your number is, okay? Whatever amount of time that you've got, let's say you've got for every hour, let's say you're getting 3 or 4 people in front of the information with an appointment to follow up per hour. If you got 2 hours per day, that's what, 7 or 8 people, okay? Times 7, days a week. And so, I mean, you could easily have some really impressive numbers, all right? Especially with the information I'm about to give you. But if you focus on the activities, then the only possible outcome is the results. I hope that makes sense to you. If you don't focus on the results. Completely divorce yourself emotionally from the results, whether they join or buy. Who cares? Okay, focus on the activities. Because if you do that, the only possible outcome is that you'll get the results. Okay. All right. So I just can't stress that enough. So marry the activities, divorce the results. You have to understand that in this profession, we pique interest, not satisfy interest. We spend about 70% of our time piquing interest. That's what we do for a living. You want to understand network marketing? We get people interested in what we do for a living. Because you're the messenger, not the message. Now, let me tell you what most people that just start off in network marketing, what they do. They get excited about a product or service, the new Post-it notes. Yeah, the new Post-it notes have, they're super sticky and they've got this incredible adhesive and they're this cool color of yellow that, glows in the dark or whatever it is. So you got to understand, none of that stuff matters initially. Okay, you think it does because you're excited about it, but you're the messenger, not the message. Okay, what you're gonna do is simply get people interested enough to look at some information and then appear to be busy and point them towards the information with an appointment to follow up. That's it. You're the messenger. You're not the message. You're gonna point them towards the message. Okay. So, and if you haven't already gone through, the Becoming the Alpha Marketer Bootcamp on austinzuloff.com, it's a free training. I would definitely say that you need to go through that because I talk about the 7 Ps and that process of piquing someone and pointing them towards the information. Okay. So, understand, very important. You're the messenger, not the message. We pique interest, not satisfy interest. We pique interest and get them interested enough to look at the information and then set an appointment to follow up, send them the information, and then follow up in that order. Very simple. You don't want to stick around and give them the chance to ask a bunch of questions. You want to appear to be busy. Okay. Approach piquing interest with an extreme sense of urgency. And I'll give you a great example of that. Okay. The last company I was a part of, I was the #1 income earner in that company. We killed it right out the gate for the most part. We just absolutely crushed it. And it was a lot of fun. It was a whole lot of fun. And I joined on a Thursday. I sat down. I wrote out a list of 600 names of people I absolutely had to get this information in front of. Okay, so I pulled up my social media. I pulled out my phone, the whole 9 yards, and I got my laptop, and I pulled up a notepad on my laptop. And I just sat there and typed out 600 names. If they were super important, I would put like dots by them, that way I would be able to find them real easy. People that they're influencers, people that would, just crush it in this particular deal, whatever the case may be. Those were the people I had to talk to first. Okay. So I pulled up, I got 600 names written out. That was on a Thursday. I woke up the next morning and I began reaching out to people with an extreme sense of urgency, inviting them to a call I was having at 10 o'clock Eastern time that night. That way I could communicate my vision of what was about to happen. I began with the end in mind, and I knew we were going to kill it. I just didn't know who the we was quite yet. And so it was a situation where, I didn't have a lot of time. I had 600 names I had to get through. Now, did I get a chance to talk to each and every single individual one of them? No. I had a chance to talk to each and every individual one of about 80 something people that day. Now, think about this. If you're having a conversation with 80 something people in a day, it's going to take some moving and shaking, right? So, I'd be on social media. I was on my phone. I was texting people. All at the same time. It was absolute mayhem. Okay. It was a pandemonium. It was nuts. And so, you have to act with that extreme sense of urgency whenever you're building. All right. Be busy. Now, here's the other thing too. If you're talking to folks, whenever you're talking to folks and you're chatting and that sort of thing, if you've got all the time in the world to answer a bunch of their questions, then you kind of seem desperate. Okay. People relate being busy with being successful. All right. So that's very, very important to know. So once you pique their interest, chances are they're going to want to start asking you questions. So you're going to tell them something like, hey, listen, I'm actually about to go into a meeting, but if I would you, and we'll get to what that means here in just a minute. If I were to send you some information, when would you get a chance to check it out? If I were to send you about 10 minutes worth of information, when would you get a chance to check it out? Okay. We'll go over that here in a minute. Just remember that as you're talking to people and piquing interest, you've got to appear to be busy. Okay. Be busy, Barbara, right there. All right. So you also have to realize that if you're working in your cold market, you pique interest, but don't forget to build relationships. Why? Because relationships are everything. And I'll give you a great example of this. So I was out to dinner with a coaching client of mine not long ago. All right. They're killing it and they're super excited. And this was the first time we'd ever met in person. I think they were probably a little nervous and all that sort of thing. So we were out to eat. And I had just trained them on an offline prospecting script that I use and I really like. And I showed them live the offline prospecting script while we were out at getting some coffee at Starbucks. And it worked like that. It worked like a charm. And took no time at all. And I had a person's name and phone number and they were interested in whatever company it was. I didn't tell them what the company was because I don't have any affiliation with the company. So I just had to give the lead away. But we sat down at lunch and me and this person, and as soon as the waiter comes over, this person just goes right into, we hadn't even gotten our drinks and they go right into the offline prospecting script, trying to get this person's name and number and all that sort of thing. That is not the way to do it. Okay. Here's how you should do it. Whenever you sit down, which, if I'm getting served, if I got a waiter, a server, anything like that, you can bet your ass I'm getting their name and number. You can just bet. Okay. It's a very safe bet. All right. Now, so here's the thing. You sit down, they come over, start building rapport with them. Hey, what's up? How long have you been here at O'Charlie's? Oh yeah, where are you from? You've got an accent. Oh, okay, yeah, really? Well, what brought you to Kentucky? And talk with them a little bit. Now, right before you're about to leave, that's when you get into piquing their interest. Okay, that's when you hit them with that offline prospecting script. But if you're in your cold market, if you're building in a cold market, don't forget to build rapport. Now, if you're doing it online, you don't have to build rapport for a lifetime. You don't have to build rapport for like weeks at a time, but, say hi and, let there be a few volleys of conversation before you actually hit them with the, pop the question. Now, you got to have fun with it. You got to always have fun in mind, because if you don't have fun with it, you're going to get burnt out. I'm actually going to show you a way that you can have fun here in just a minute. Okay. Here's a couple examples of some scripts that you can use in order to get people interested in what you're doing. Okay, upper left-hand corner says, I'm curious, so are you open to a side project to make some extra money? Now, this is really cool because you can reach out to someone, through text, inbox message, whatever, and you can tell them something to the effect of, hey, Steve, what's up, man? I just saw you were in Denver. How'd you like it? As soon as they respond with it, and they respond to a question, you're going to say, hey, listen, I'm actually about to go into a meeting right now, or I'm about to go into a dinner with some colleagues, but I have a quick question. Are you open to a side project to make some extra money? And if they say yes, what is it? Say, okay, great. Listen, like I said, I'm actually going into a dinner, but if I were to send you about 10 minutes worth of information, when would you get a chance to check it out? Done. That's easy. Guys, you can do that. Ask them a question, have some conversation, real quick, and then tell them, hey, I'm actually about to go into a meeting with some friends, but I just need to know, are you open to a side project to make some extra money? That's it. Okay. Now that one's one that I like because I can use it and appear to be busy, and it works well. Upper right-hand corner says, I'm curious, do you keep your business options open when it comes to making more money? Now, this is always good when you're talking to someone, especially in a workplace environment, but this is how I once saw a gentleman explain how professional network marketers build. He started at the one side of the room, and there was maybe, 30 people in the front row. He went to the first person and he said, hey, Steve, what's up? Hey, listen, I need to know, do you keep your options open when it comes to making more money? No? Okay. Hey, Linda, do you keep your options open when it comes to making more money? No? Okay, great. Hey, Sandy, do you keep your income options open when it comes to making more money? You do? Great. Done. That's it. So, do you keep your income options open when it comes to making more money? Do you keep your options open when it comes to making more money? That's great. Now, with that wording, I'm curious, do you keep your business options open when it comes to making more money? If they say no, it's almost like they're saying no, they're not about their business. So I really like the wording of that. Bottom right-hand corner, this is where it starts to get fun, guys, okay? This is where it starts to get fun. If someone helped you develop, hey, Steve, let me ask you a quick question. If someone helped you develop an income stream to help you retire in the next year or two, would you send them a Christmas card? I love that one because they're gonna be caught off guard. Yeah, of course I'd send them a Christmas card. Why? Just wondering because I have a feeling I'm gonna get a Christmas card in the next year or two. Say, hey, listen, I need to know. And then you just roll right into it. And I need to know, I'm about to go into a meeting, but if I were to send you about 10 minutes worth of information to take a look at, when would you get a chance to check it out? Very simple stuff. Now, the last one is all about having fun. Hey, Steve, listen, man, if you found a way to have fun and make friends in that same activity, make sure you got all your bills paid and have plenty of spending cash, let me ask you, how many friends would you make? I love that one because it's, once again, just going back to having fun with it. I've done some of these things in a cold market with strangers that I didn't know, and I completely fouled them up. And I remember this one time I was in the mall and did it, and I screwed it up bad. I told them, I said, hey, listen, this didn't go as I planned it to go. Okay, I messed this all up. All right, this is a script I was trying to use and that sort of thing. Didn't work. Okay, so you take care. I appreciate you. You have a good day. And I wouldn't try it with someone else. All right, so you got to be. You got to be resilient, okay? So with this, I want to give you another example. And look, I wrote a note to myself. It says, don't forget to tell them what to do when they are interested, how to follow up, and what to do if they don't answer when they follow up. This is all very good stuff. Okay, so let's say you've reached out to someone and you've said, hey, Steve, listen, man, I just need to know, do you keep your options open when it comes to making more money? They say, yeah, sure, man. What you talking about? Listen, I'm actually going into a dinner meeting with some colleagues right now, but if I were to send you about 10 minutes worth of information, when would you get a chance to check that out and give me your honest feedback? And they say, 7 o'clock tonight. Okay, listen, I'm actually gonna be busy at 7, but it should be wrapped up by about 7:30 or 8. Is that cool? Yeah, sure, that's fine. Okay, great. Listen, I'm really busy, but I promise you I will carve out some time in my schedule to make certain I give you a holler at 7:30. Are you positive you'll have checked out the information by then and 7:30 works for you to chat for a couple minutes? They say, yes, great. Boom, send them the information. talk with you at 7:30. All right? Done. That's all you need to do and say. Don't overcomplicate it. Keep it simple. Now, when you follow up with Steve, okay, and he answers the phone, I want you to ask 3 questions and that's it. Okay? He's going to say, hey, what's up, man? Hey, Steve, what's going on, brother? Hey, did you get a chance to check out the information I sent you? You did? Great. Hey, what'd you like best about what you saw? Oh, yeah, that's actually one of my favorite parts too. Yeah, good stuff. Hey, so what kind of questions did you have for me? Okay, now, those are the 3 questions. All right. Did you get a chance to check out the information I sent you? Yes. What'd you like about what you saw? Whatever they say, that's your favorite part too. And then the 3rd question is, what kind of questions did you have for me? So on the off chance that they say, when you say, did you get a chance to check out the information I sent you? If they say no, you respond by saying, okay, well, I actually have a lot of people that they have seen the information, and I was actually pushing a call back to make sure I called you on time. When do you think you'll get a chance to check it out? I'm going to follow up with one of these guys that I pushed the call back for. Just say something to that effect, because they need to know you're busy. That's going to keep you in control. Okay. Be nice about it. Don't be rude. No one likes that. Okay. But if by whatever, for whatever reason they say that they haven't looked at the information yet, and just say, oh, okay. Well, listen, I actually was pushing another call back just so I could call you on time. I've got lots of folks that have looked at the information, and I really, really need to get with one of those guys right now since I pushed the call back. When do you think you get a chance to check out that information? When will you have 10 minutes for me? That's it. And just reschedule. Okay. Now, how you can decrease the amount of times that happens is make sure you text them about 30 minutes beforehand, before your appointment to follow up, and say something like, hey, Steve, just wrapping something up, but I'm still going to be able to make our 7:30 call time. Talk with you then. Done. Okay. You do that, then they're thinking, oh crap, I haven't checked out the information. I got 30 minutes. Let me go ahead and check it out real quick. Right now, if they text back and say they're not going to be able to make it, I still call them anyway. I don't respond through the text. All right. I want to be in control of the whole thing. All right. Now, whatever they say, whenever you ask them the 3rd question, which is what kind of questions did you have for me? Whatever they say doesn't really matter. Okay. So all you're doing is you're queuing them up for a 3-way call. Or if you want to go ahead and answer the questions yourself, you can. I like to do 3-way calls myself. I don't like people to become dependent on 3-way calls, but you can do it one of 2 ways. Okay. Use the closing script, the assumptive close that I go over in the Becoming the Alpha Marketer Bootcamp, which is very simple close, or do the 3-way call. Okay. So if they say, I got a question about the, the spatula durability on the whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Say, oh, okay, you know what? That's a great question. I'd be curious what my friend Austin Zuloff, my partner, has to say about this. Austin has actually been an outside sales consultant in multiple Fortune 500 companies, been the #1 income earner in 3 separate companies, and is a sought-after trainer and coach for our profession. I'd be curious what he has to say about that. Hold on 1 second. Don't hang up. I'm actually going to 3-way him in real quick and introduce you. 1 second. Done. Whatever they say, whatever the question is, you're going to say, you know what? I'm glad I'd be curious what my partner Austin has to say about that. You're going to go right into the 3-way call. And then you're going to edify the bejesus out of your partner, out of your sponsor, whoever you're doing the 3-way call with. Talk them up, and the more you do that, the more value you're building in what it is that they've got to say, which means the closer your prospect is going to listen to your sponsor. Okay. All right. So here's what to do on the off chance that they just don't answer whenever you follow up. And it happens. It's happened to me hundreds of times. It happens to everyone. Probably happened to me thousands of times, to be honest with you. So you've set this concrete appointment, right? And you just know they're interested, and they're gonna answer, and they're gonna be super excited to hear from you. As soon as you call them, right? You call them and they don't answer. You text them. Hey man, listen, now we're just keeping our 7:30 appointment. Is there a better time tonight? Whatever it is, whatever you're texting them, doesn't matter. So let's say they don't respond that night. Here's what you don't do. Don't call them back. Don't text them 5 times that night. Don't text them in the morning. None of that stuff. Okay. Wait 3 or 4 days. Wait 3 or 4 days. And then I want you to send them a message. Either text them, inbox them, however you communicate, aside from calling them. Don't call them. Okay, so text them or whatever, and I want you to tell them this. Hey, Steve, so sorry that I got so busy, I forgot to call you the other day. Just got overwhelmed with business. It's going incredible. I've got some free time today to catch up. When's a good time we can chat? Okay, something to that effect. Just, hey, Steve, so sorry that I got so busy with business that I forgot to follow up, that I forgot to call you, back the other day. I've got some free time to chat today. When's a good time we can catch up? Very simple. That's it. Put the blame on yourself, okay? You could always call them out and say, hey, dirtbag, thanks for not answering like you're supposed to, like you said you would. We keep our word in this business. Don't do that. Write this down. You can be right. I'd rather be rich. You can be right. I'd rather be rich. Okay. So I don't try to make a point. There was a quote I read one time that says, wise men don't feel the need to make points. It's something like that. It was in the book Tao Te Ching. It's a really good book. But it's a situation where you don't need to call them out. You can put all the blame on yourself, and they'll respect you for doing it that way. And you're much more likely to actually get them to start responding. I promise you. Okay. So that is the entire how to exploit curiosity to develop white hot interest training. And if you use these scripts, if you use these principles, these new understandings that we've gone over, I guarantee you will get more people interested in your business. You'll make your life a lot easier. You're going to have a lot more fun. And bottom line, you're going to increase your paycheck and grow a much bigger organization. Okay. So would love to hear your testimonials. Appreciate you. Would love to see some notes and some takeaways that you got from it. So hit me up on my business page, and would love to hear some stories of you using some of this stuff. Okay. So appreciate you guys. Take care and enjoy.